How's it going, everyone? Data here, and welcome back to New York Islanders franchise mode here in NHL 25. Moving into episode number 32 for the second half of year number 9 here in the 2032-33 regular season. In the last one, we found ourselves putting up historic numbers both individually and as a team, as through 41 games, we are 33-6-2, on pace for 66 wins, on pace to go 66-12-4 this season. Will we hit that? I don't know. Franchise record that we've put up here is 58 wins. Could we at least hit 60? We'll find out. We're doing very well in goals for and goals against. We're second in the league for goals for by a long shot. We're best in the league at goals against at 2.37. We'll talk about why that's the case in a moment. We look at the goaltending. Our power play at 32.7. Converting on almost a third of our power play opportunities has us, yes, on top of the NHL. The penalty kill has been questionable at 80.8. I believe it's something like 21st in the league. So we're closer to the bottom than the top. That could be something that we work on and moving into the second half. But for the most part, we are extremely content, and that's putting it mildly, with how we're doing in the first half of year number 8. Multiple players on point per game plus paces. Porter Martone and Cole Eiserman both on pace for 98-point seasons. Oliver Kapanen, a huge surprise, on pace for 94 himself. David Jiricek, who gets better every season. I always keep saying this every episode. Every year puts up just a few more points. 32, actually back to the beginning. 23, 32, 42, 51, 56, now on pace for 74. So we'll see if he gets close to that, hitting that mark. Brock Besser, 36. Bo Horvat was down due to injury, unfortunately. He missed 14 games, but still 35 points in 27 games from the captain, who had his 111-point season last year. I believe this would have put him on a 106-point pace over a full 82-game season. But still, so that has us at 5 point per game plus players, if we include Besser and Horvat, who lost some time due to injury. Matty Barzal, 33 and 41. He's now the all-time Islanders leader in games played. We'll look at that in just a moment as well. Kevin, 33. Awesome to see that from him. Zupone, Pricing, Pispinen, Sandin. Alexeev, would have wanted a little bit more from him from the 86 overall rookie. Hakana, Nazarov, Hornqvist, great plus minus. Rookie George Bates, 7 points plus 12. Arcuri, Engqvist, all the way down the list. And then the goaltending, as last episode was entitled Lockdown. That was because of Igor Loktionov in his rookie NHL season is 21-1-2 with 6 shutouts, a .924 save percentage, and 2.18 goals against average through 26 appearances so far this season. It's tough because I want to give every game to Loktionov, but Trey Augustine has been very consistently a reliable starter for us. After 45 wins last year, he's had 118 wins as an Islander. He's been great for us. But with what Loktionov has been doing, we can't take him out. So Loktionov, who already had 6 shutouts in his rookie season, there's many rookie goaltenders who had crazy shutout numbers over the last 100 years in AHL history. But if we say goaltenders from, let's say, the year 2000, 6 shutouts as a rookie would tie him with Evgeny Nabokov. It's 1 behind Pekka Rinne, who had 7, and it's 4 behind Steve Mason, who had 10 in his crazy Calder season. So Loktionov already putting himself in the history books, and I'm sure, fingers crossed, there's still more to come. Trey Augustine, in his 8 appearances, has been 8 and 4, 909 save percentage, and 2.68 goals against average. And of course, who's up next in the numbers after Loktionov? It's Riley Stepan, the 72 overall, who carried us to the Cup last year. He's 4 and 1 with, yes, 1 shutout, a .915 save percentage, and 2.17 goals against average. So as one of our channel members, Intelligent Dice, said over in the Discord server, Data, when he captures the EA Voodoo and uses it against the game, yeah, that's how I feel, the witch doctor right now. So Riley Stepan, just a little reminder on him, he carried us to the Stanley Cup last year, going 9-3-1, 1 shutout, .933 save percentage, 1.97 goals against average as a 71. Now he's a 72, and he's done this so far through 5 career appearances. So we have 3 goalies who I'd love all of them to get, 65 appearances each. But sadly, we have to break up the next 41 games. The first 41 went 26-12-5, some appearing more than once. But just mind-boggling stuff. This is the Department of Defense, and hopefully now that we closed the PlayStation and opened it back up, it won't now collapse and actually reflect what our overalls actually should be. Hopefully the good times keep on rolling. So after winning 33 games in the first half, there's really not that much to say from the AGM comments left in the last one, but we'll just quickly dive into them. One of my major questions from the last one was, because I want to have this series wrapped up in about 2 months from now, I'm getting married at the end of July, I'd like to have everything wrapped up before I leave for the wedding, the honeymoon, and all of that. We'd like to get this wrapped up sooner rather than later, but we don't want to cut the series short. So after talking to some of the AGMs in the comments in the Discord server, I think what we're going to try and do is, let's end year number 8 like this, season part 1, season part 2, playoffs and off-season, 4 episodes per season. In year 10, we're going to make them 2-episode seasons, off-season and season and playoffs. Then once we get to the end of year 10, from there I'll do 1 episode per season for years 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 5 more episodes. And then year 15, maybe to 20, maybe something of live streams or what. That's difficult because each live stream, as we saw in the Vancouver series, could be up to 4 or 5 hours when things go well on a deep run. So we'll see what I can do. I'm putting all my focus on the Islanders. Instead of 5 or 6 days between episodes, I'm going to try for 3 or 4, maybe 5 max between episodes, but not 6 or 7. So that might mean a little less time to get in your AGM thoughts. But with me getting married in like 60 days, I gotta do what I gotta do. So that might mean once in a while that a Sens Hockey Legacy Manager stream doesn't happen, or a Blue Jays MLB The Show 25 stream doesn't happen in the name of putting out some Islanders content. That's what I did here. The Wednesday upload that if you're watching on day of upload, I used the usual Tuesday night stream to instead record and edit. So we'll see how things work out. Just wanted to make you aware of all the information moving into the next couple of months. And from here, let's move into the AGM comments, starting off with Sam, who said, "Hi Data, great episode as always, and congrats on the impending marriage. Thank you very much." I'll try not to leave this one too long today, but I do have a bunch of thoughts to share. We'll jump down to the episode thoughts. So moving to the rest of the video, wow, what a ridiculous start. Classic EA. Of course, Loktionov steals the starter spot, and deservedly so. And of course, our highest rated overall goalie has the worst number. Still good, but the worst of the 3 of the season so far. All 3 are looking good at this point, exactly, but as always, we'll be watching closely to start the second half, lest the EA voodoo reverses our goalies' fortunes. Moving out to extensions, the big probably question episodically of the last one. Kevin makes a lot of sense if we were to get him with something like a 5 by 7.5 with a no move clause. Hakana is another person that it makes sense to try and lock up for as long as possible. Maybe some trade protection might sweeten the deal on his end. 8 years at 3.5 to 3.75, and 50% no trade is the limit for him, though. I agree that it probably makes sense to trade Pispinen, maybe as part of the deal for Mitch Marner, who's on the block in Seattle, but he's really not a fourth-line type of player long-term, Mitch Marner. The problem is that, other than Marner, no one was really standing out on the trade block, and we really need someone to lock down the fourth-line center spot for us. Hopefully, whoever they are, they'll be available by the deadline, so we'll just have to remain vigilant. That's all I've got for now. Great episode again, and I'm looking forward to seeing how the season ends in the next one. Go Isles! Thank you very much, Sam. So, for the fourth-line center, you know, if we were to figure something out where Pispinen moves out, Nazarov either moves to the wing or he gets sent down. He hasn't had a bad rookie season, but maybe he needs some time in the AH. I don't know. He's still a 22-point pace, playing 9.23 per night. I'd prefer to keep him. He's 22 now. So if he were to go to the wing and Pispinen were to get traded, I have no problem with putting Francesco Arcuri back in the fourth-line spot. He's been playing parts of 4 NHL seasons now. He's been very good. He's a Stanley Cup champion. Just how many does he have here? Game won't even tell us. I don't know why. But if we look at his playoff stats here, yes, he's part of the 2031 Stanley Cup run. Yes, he was a part of the 2031, that's a Stanley Cup Final run. We didn't win that year. He would have been 13th forward last year. Yeah, so he has rings. He doesn't always have the playoff experience, but he has the rings. He's been in there practicing with us. So Arcuri could slot in as fourth line. We don't need to trade Pispinen and a third to go get some 83 overall. Yes, that would be an improvement, but we don't necessarily have to because Arcuri has proved himself already. Nazarov at center is just a bigger issue. Not that we need a fourth liner, it's that we need someone who could play center. Arcuri could be that guy, then Pispinen would have to be moved out, Nazarov to the wing. That's kind of all we're really thinking about, though, lineup-wise. The other thoughts that Sam had mentioned and other AGM comments will as well were the extensions. As we'll have a ton of money, we're not rushed right now on Martone, let's say, who's an RFA. Barzal and Besser, they might regress a little bit more, so no rush there. But Kevin, who's a UFA, we don't want to get stuck and handcuffed at the end of June with some sort of crazy number that he wants. The number now is a little bit high, but considering that the salary cap is over 110 million, almost 111, it's not that bad. Now, Kevin, although we always like flexibility, we have to admit he's likely the future of our top six. Not our first-line right-wing guy for the next 10 years, maybe, but I would like him to be a second-line fixture very, very soon with Barzal, Horvat, and Besser, three of those guys out of our top six within the next 1 to 2 years. We have to have guys like Kevin Ray to slot into that full-time role. And Kevin right now on a 66-point pace, still playing, not terrible ice time, but just 14 minutes per night. I'm ready to commit to him with some sort of trade clause protection as well. So he really wants the 5 years. 6 really drops it down. Then he wants 9.4. The 5 years is 8.1. Everything else is upwards of 9 million. So he really wants the 5 years, which I'm okay with working with, but how can we get that down a little bit? 7.25 might be the deal. Now, what kind of trade clauses can we involve? I could see something like this where it's almost a full no-move clause, but at least it allows us 3 teams that he's tradable to if there's some sort of disaster. It's not really a big deal. It's maybe an extra little, like, 1/6 of a tick of a bar or something to go with the full no-move clause. But we can always try it again later. Hopefully he won't be angry with us or something. Maybe I can just go to 3.50. Yeah, let's try the extra 100K. Extra 100K per season, extra $500,000, but trade flexibility where he could be moved to 3 teams in an emergency situation. So let's offer him that 5 years at 7.35 with a 29-team no trade list throughout the deal, and we'll see what he says to that. All right, Kevin? Now on Hornqvist, Hakana, those are also big ones we want to do, but they're also RFA, so we don't need to feel too pressured right now, especially on Hornqvist. But yeah, Hakana we could get for cheap now, which is interesting. We could cheese the system, but I'd prefer not to. As like 2-3 years, it's like only 3.5 million, but the longer it goes, the less interest he has. Maybe something in this range, 4 years at 3.5 million, no protection in year 1 next season, then 29-team no trade, 24-team, 20-team no trade. If we were to say the same offer but move it up to like 5 or 6 years, yeah, the interest drops dramatically. So although I'd love to get long-term, like 6-7 years on Hakana, that would be talking closer to like 4 million. That being said, if we are confident that maybe he won't get to second-line center, but he'll be our third-line center long-term, that's not bad money for a long-term third-line center. That might be in the 6x4 range, so I don't want to cheese it too much where we're going like 8x3.5, but 6x4, then he's due for another contract as an expiring UFA in his early 30s, and he's still just an 83 overall. There's no guarantee that he'll get to 85, 86, or anything even close to elite. He might be stuck at an 83, so we're taking a little bit of a risk here because he might be an 83 forever, and he's taking a little bit of risk of maybe I'll get even better and I will become a staple second-line center on a Stanley Cup contending team. So there's a little bit of risk on both sides here. He'll get a 29-team no-trade list for years 2, 3, and 4. Then years 5 and 6, 24-team no-trade, so tradable to 8 teams, or to 7 other teams. Yeah, I'm going to say let's offer this. 6x4 on Hakana. It might not be the best possible deal we could get. We could go 4 years and save maybe close to 500K. But then if he's an expiring UFA at 27, 28, and he is that second-line guy, it's going to cost us way more. So I'd rather pay him a bit more and then maybe lose him in 6 years, as opposed to paying him less, but then I lose him in 4 years. You see what I'm saying? So I'm going to say let's send this out to Hakana, and we'll wait on everybody else. Hakana and Kevin with the offers, and we'll go from here. So with that out of the way, we're almost ready to start the season. Just want to highlight a couple more comments. Gavin saying, wow, what a fantastic start to our season. Some other thoughts on the episodes and the length of the series and all that. Then jumping down, for a deadline type deal, Pispinen could be trade bait as he's nice but not really useful to us. I doubt they has much value, but packaged with a few other struggling prospects to maybe Seattle for Mitch Marner. He could be a guy like how Zuccarello was for us early on in the series, or even we could go and get a 4th-line center, although there wasn't much on the block. I'd be fine to just stand pat as well. Yeah, great episode, Data, and let's see if we can continue this historical effort in the second half. Go Wiles. Thank you, Gavin. Of course, there's also a number of other comments talking about what Igor Loktyanov was doing last episode, but I love this one from Wild Bronco, who went out and did some research for us. Caveat, all numbers below ignore the fact that 0-0 ties were possible throughout most of the league's history because, quite frankly, I'm too lazy to dig that deep into this. No problem, Bronco. Thank you to one of our channel members who went ahead and did this. So, Bronco says that he is a glutton for research and history, but I'm not sure even what to research for what Loktyanov is doing. But that being said, 6 shutouts in 21 wins mean means 28.57% of his wins have been through shutouts. If this pace continues, that would put him above the career marks of such names as Terry Sawchuk, Glenn Hall, Jacques Blount, Dominic Hasek, Martin Brodeur, and on par with Tiny Thompson. If we go by season shutout numbers, that 28.57% is less impressive, as you need to go to like Sawchuk's 12 shutouts in 40 games in 1954-55 to even get close to the top 30% mark. And everyone else in the top 16 is at 40% plus. So I'd be curious what the numbers are for 82 game seasons, or even seasons of the last 25 years. Finally, Lokhtianov's 6 shutouts in 26 games is 23%, which puts him on par with Tony Esposito in 69-70, 23.8% with 15 shutouts in 63 games, also done as a rookie, but below some ridiculous seasons like Hainsworth getting 22 shutouts in 44 games in 1928-29. If you look at the top 30 current career shutout leaders, he outpaces all of them per game played, with Hainsworth's 20% coming closest, 94 shutouts in 465 games played. Whew, so a lot of different numbers and things that are bouncing around our heads. Who knows what Lokhtianov's going to do here in the second half, but already, as I said earlier, tying him with Evgeny Nabokov for the third most shutouts by a rookie since the year 2000, behind only Pekka Rinne, who had 7, and Steve Mason, who had 10. So we'll keep on simulating the season and seeing where Lokhtianov takes us. We want to make sure that Trey Augustine is getting his starts, even a little bit of Riley Stepan, but as we've been seeing, it's the menu sim that we've been having a lot of success in. Unfortunately, the slow sim, which is what we do during the playoffs, has not been so friendly. Benjamin Keevan is on board with that extension. I accept your offer enthusiastically. You put a very generous offer on the table cash-wise. Thank you. Great news. And Hakana is on board as well. Enthusiastic response from Kimo Hakana too. So that gets 2 of our major off-season question marks taken care of, with Hakana and Keevan both signed on into the long-term future. So all expiring now, the big ones, Martone, Barzal, Besser, and Hornqvist. Those 4 players will be between $30.375 million. Absolutely, extremely doable, I think. Then some other guys are Kiri Boldzuk, etc. And yes, there we go. All right, that's great news. So maybe a bit more, like I said, trade clause heavy than I wanted to be, but I like locking in those numbers now. So let's get the first game of this episode going here in the second half versus the 16, 19, and 7 Utah Hockey Club. Augustine will start for this one, and then Lokhtianov will go on another little run. First period, 2-2 game quickly. Ramsey, but then Pispinen and Horvat score for us. Horvat on the power play. Pispinen hearing the potential trade talks, and he gets one early. Cooley for Utah. Second period, 2 goals on 5 shots on Augustine, by the way, in the first period. Nazarov puts us up 3-2. Shots are 27-10, and we're up by 1 here in the third. Come on, Trey Augustine. Oh boy, yeah. So and there's Logan Cooley, 3 goals on 13 shots. It's really the slow sim versus the menu sim. But are we just fooling ourselves by winning all these games in the menu sim just to fall apart in the playoffs? Power plays on both sides go nowhere. Final 4 minutes. Next one might be the winner. We're more than doubling the shots. Thank you, Brock Besser! 4-3 Isles, and that's the winner. Besser wins it. Shots end 37-18 when we come away with a 4-3 victory. Thank goodness. Nazarov a goal and an assist. Look at you. Brock Besser game-winning goal for third star honors. And that's another win for the Isles. Number 34 on the season. Now, on the road in Toronto, we'll go back to Lokhtianov, and he'll start the next series of games. Oh, and by the way, we had mentioned that the penalty kill wasn't super great. We wanted to just touch upon that very quickly. So we're going to keep Unit 1 as Kapanen Alexeyev, even though they see the most ice time. It's because I want Alexeyev to get that ice time. So with the +4, we won't touch Unit 1. Unit 2 of Horvat and Martone, I guess we could do something here. So this is where we'll put Matty Barzal and his speed, potentially. That might do something. So Barzal and Horvat with now Dupont he has to stay there with his 93 shot blocking, 98 stick checking. I'm going to put him on the right side, and on the left side we'll go Rasmus Sandin, just to change things up there. And the third unit, it'll be Hakana with Martone, and then Bates with Engqvist, the defensive defenseman, 91 shot blocking and all that. So first we go with the small change, just shuffling the players who are already there. If things continue to struggle, then we go to more serious changes where the actual personnel is going to be shuffled around. We're at 81.3% on the penalty kill. Let's keep that number in mind as we sim through this game against the Maple Leafs at Scotiabank Arena. Igor Lokhtianov between the pipes, and it's a 6-3 victory. Can't always be a shutout, but we'll take the 6-3 victory. Thank you very much. So let's keep on going in the main menu here. That has been our friend, so we will continue to do so. Let's do it. Igor against the 26-16-4 Philadelphia Flyers. That's a 3-2 loss. Now against the LA Kings, who are 10-29-6. Here's a chance for Riley Stepan. All right, let's give him a game here. Riley Stepan. Here we go. Let's advance through this one on home ice, hosting the LA Kings. 5-2 loss against the worst team in the league. Come on, Riley. Now the PlayStation restarted, and now the voodoo's going to be back against us, right? Okay, Augustine can start this next one against Seattle. This is the first of a back-to-back, and then we'll go back to Loktionov starting against the Minnesota Wild. Here against another losing team, the 18-26-4 Seattle Kraken. Let's go, Trey, for your 10th win of the year. Thank you. Big 8-3 victory against the Kraken. And speaking of that, I forgot I also wanted to show you the record book. I'd mentioned it earlier about Matty Barzal. He is now tied with Billy Smith for the most seasons played as an Islander. I'm not sure if anyone else has played 17 seasons, but Barzal is now tied for that record, and he's also played the most games in franchise history, currently sitting at 1,193, 1 assist away from 800, and now at 1,133 points, 220 points away from Brian Trottier. And we look at the wins by Trey Augustine, 120 as an Islander now, not super close to Billy Smith just yet. But hey, still great to see. So Loktionov back between the pipes, starting off this home game against the Minnesota Wild, who are 25-18-3. 2-1 loss, a tight one. We score 8, but then we can't get more than 1 past Wallstedt. Now against Soderblom and the Ottawa Senators here at home, 4-2 win. And a nice little break now in the All-Star break, it looks like. 37 wins by the All-Star break. Wow. So I'm going to pause here to update the scouting reports, and then we'll continue to enjoy the All-Star break and get back against the Sharks on the 7th. All right, the All-Star break is over. Maybe we'll know who made it to the All-Star game in NHL 34. Here we go on the road at the Shark Tank, facing off against the Sharks. Loktionov back between the pipes before we continue the California swing. 4-2 loss. Come on, Igor. I want that Vezina. Now here's a chance for Igor against the Kings. Stepan couldn't do it. Now here's a chance for Igor against the 12-33-6 Kings. Come on, 4-1 win. There we go. Those are the goals against average numbers we want to see. And even though it's back-to-back, I'm doing Igor again. Here we go. We're getting close to 40 wins against the Ducks. 3-1 loss. Now the scoring is going to be what dries up, right? Here we go against the Avalanche. Let's keep it rolling in the main menu simming. So Nazarov out, upper body injury. Arcuri will replace until April 7th. Oh boy, I didn't realize that. Hold on. It just said upper body injury, so I said whatever. Nazarov out for like 2 months. It's February 13. Oh my goodness. So Nazarov, that might put an end to the majority of his rookie season here. Upper body injury. Maybe some sort of concussion or something, I don't know what. And he's going to be out for a little while. So that is exactly where our Arcuri slots into the lineup now. And if we were to make some sort of trade of a Mitch Marner acquisition, he would go 4th line right wing with Pispinen out. So Arcuri, yes, is going to be locked into the 4th line center role for the foreseeable future. Okay, Nazarov, you were strong in your rookie season, my friend, but that might just be the end of it, at least for the regular season. 3-2 win against the Avalanche. Now looking for win number 40 against the Canucks. Let's go, Igor, hosting Vancouver. And it's a 6-1 victory for the 40th win of the year. We're now 40-11-2 through 53 games. Keep it going, Igor. No stopping. 6-1 win, followed by a 6-2 win. There's the scoring. 12 goals in 2 games combined. Nice. Hosting the Avalanche after we just saw them a few days ago. We'll switch goalies here in the back-to-back coming up. Against the Avs, 4-3 shootout win. Now that gives us a little bit of a streak. Porter Martone up to 66 points. Goals for per game have dropped to 3.96. I see the pounding kill, 81.8, now 15th in the league. Those numbers on the right side of your screen. Now I'm going to go ahead and say here's a chance for Augustine against the Penguins, then back to Igor against the Jets and further. Emperor Trey Augustine trying to reclaim his crease a little bit here against the Pittsburgh Penguins at UBS, and it's a 5-3 loss. That doesn't help Trey Augustine's case. No. So back to Igor we go. We continue to put our trust in the rookie with medium fringe starter potential against the Winnipeg Jets. Ooh, after 4 Stanley Cup Finals in a row, they're now 26-29-3 and looking to go below 500. Ouch. Let's slow sim this one against one of our storied rivals in this franchise mode series. First period, 2-1 Isles. Huutonen scores early for the Jets, or scores first for the Jets. Then we score twice in the final 80 seconds. Horvat and Besser, of course, who else but the 2 veteran scores. Second period, 4-2. Horvat gets his second. Then Yzerman makes it 4-1. Broberg gets one back. And third period, 6-3 the final. Kevin and Yzerman. So 2 from Yzerman, 2 from Horvat. And yeah, 2 goals and 2 assists even for Yzerman as the first star. Horvat, 2 goals and an assist. Keevan, a goal and an assist. 6-3 Islanders win for number 43 on the year. All right, Igor, good work. That's his 29th win. Can we get 30 in 39 appearances? Lokhtianov's 39th appearance. Goudreau, sore hip down in the AHL. He'll figure it out against the 32, 21, and 6 Anaheim Ducks, hosting them at home. Nikita Zadorov on waivers. 1.56 million, 78 overall. No. If he was like an 80, I would have thought about it. But no, we'll pass on Zadorov or Zadorov. 3-1 victory. Might not be as big in the shutout numbers, but Lokhtianov is still holding a .927 save percentage, 2.17 goals against average, and 30 wins in 39 appearances here in the rookie season from Igor. On the road against the Capitals now, who are 25, 25, and 8. Can we get win number 45 here on the road? Leo Loof on waivers. Mr. Loof, I will pass. No, thank you. Against the Caps, that is a 3-0 victory. That's number 7 on the year. Lokhtianov's 7th shutout of the season and 1st of the second half, now putting him second tying him in second with Pekka Rinne for shutouts by a rookie goalie since the year 2000. 7 for Lokhtianov and Rinne, and 10 for Steve Mason. I don't know if we'll get there, but 7 shutouts from the rookie goaltender. Oh my goodness. Let's keep it rolling here against the Dallas Stars, hosting them before we go on the road against Philly the next night. 3-2 shutout victory. Nice. Against the 32, 20, and 9 Flyers, we'll give Augustine another chance. Trey, let's see it here against the Flyers at Wells Fargo. I'll just fix this from Goudreau quickly. Okay, thank you very much. And 2-0 victory! Let's go, Trey Augustine! He was the last goalie not to have a shutout. 7 from Lokhtianov, 1 from Stepan, and 1 from Trey Augustine. Now that's a performance we need to see from the Emperor. Coming up in this game against the Bruins, the last one before the deadline, Mackenzie Blackwood, Data 782 Hall of Famer with the Bruins here. Actually, Lennox is going to be between the pipes, former Islander. So now, right before the deadline, do we want to consider any of those deals? I'm going to check back through the trade blocks, do my due diligence, and see what pops up. All right, so I've gone through the blocks, and there are definitely a number of players who stand out to me. Like over in Seattle, as we had said, Mitch Marner. But the more I look at Mitch Marner, the more I think it'll be more of an emotional move. The point production has been there, 46 points in 61 games on a bad team playing less than 16 minutes of ice time per night. But if we were to put Mitch Marner in a 4th-line role with 2.5-star defense, 3-star skating, 1-star physical, yes, the 5-star puck skills, but I don't think we'd be able to utilize him. Like, he wouldn't fit the role that we need him for, nor does the role that we need him for fit him, if that's even making sense. But just to say, Mitch Marner would be more of an emotional pickup than anything if we were to go out and get him. Now, another name that stands out to me, might be a bit too good for us, would be over in LA. Sorry, not LA, Columbus. And no, it's not Noah Dobson. It would be Adrian Kempe, 84 overall, an expiring deal. But even for him, he's an 84 overall sniper. Now, the defense is better at 3 stars, physical 2.5 stars. He would definitely, I think, do better in that 4th-line role, maybe even 3rd-line due to injury, but more conservative 4th-line role. I think he'd do better than Mitch Marner. I'm still not sure he's the exact type of guy we're looking for. Now, over in Utah, 2 names really stand out to me. Utah Hockey Clubs. So the Utah Mammoth. Alex Tuch is one of them. But at 85 overall, would he be unhappy to come here and play in that role? I don't know. 4-star defense, 3.5-star skating, 4-star physical. He's scored 22 goals and 50 points in 61 games this season. He's been really good. The thing is, not a lot of teams can take on his cap hit, nor would they be on the modified no trade clause. So Utah would almost just take, at least in the storyline, whatever they could get for Alex Tuch. Of course, the trade value has to work, but they would just take whatever they can get if they're looking to dump him as a sub-500 team just wanting to shed some cap. At the same time, there's another name in Utah that stands out to me, and that is Adam Sikora. He, as a two-way forward, as an 82 overall, has 88 shot blocking, 88 stick checking as well, and then 3 and 3.5 star for the physical and skating, 90 durability, 88 aggressiveness, all that good stuff, and even 5-star puck skills to go with it just for fun. But Adam Sikora, as an 82, would be easier to acquire. Tuch obviously would be the better player, but then we'd be playing him in like a 4th-line role. Is that kind of crazy for Alex Tuch? Or is that what a Stanley Cup contending team does? You get a guy who's top 6, at worst middle 6 on like any NHL team, and you play them in your bottom 6. So if we wanted Alex Tuch, let's say, Sikora really stands out to me as well, but if we wanted Alex Tuch, and we were to say, okay, so Pittsburgh goes back the other way, the value definitely wouldn't be enough, but like, I don't know, with a third would it get there? And I don't know, we don't have the salary cap space, but it's not taking up, I guess at this point in the season, it doesn't take up the full 13 million. So if we were to say Pispinen and a third for Alex Tuck, Sakura would be the best, that would be like the consolation prize. But if we can get him, and he's there for injuries, yeah, it's kind of weird to have him in a fourth line role, but it's only for 20 games. He's an expiring contract. He's chasing a cup. Does he have any Stanley Cups at this point, the 36-year-old? In nothing. No, he has no awards. So this is the chance for Alex Tuck. Especially considering that it's only a 3-team trade list, we gotta think of ourselves very lucky right now. So Pispinen and a third for Alex Tuck. What do you think here, Utah? Rejected, not up to snuff, really. Well, you know, beggars can't be choosers, my friends. A third and a seventh. How close does it get? Before we break our heads, let's just think a third and a seventh. Does that get anything closer? Not particularly interested. Let's see, Pispinen has the lowly potential. You can keep him after this season even. I know he's expiring, but at least you could try and convince him to stay. A third and a sixth aren't where you need to be. So I'm not going to go much more here. I'm going to say one of our 2/5, and my highest offer would be maybe some no-name prospect with it. Third and a fifth, quite close to fair value. Okay, so a third, a fifth, an expiring Pispinen, and any randos in here like Doucet, Henri Doucet. Yeah, he was kind of been just an AHL filler for us. Henri Doucet. What do you say, Utah? All right. Trade accepted on behalf of the Utah Mammoth organization. I accept your trade offer. We'll see you out on the ice. Alex Tuck, welcome to Long Island. Pispinen, thank you for your time here. Things didn't really work out super well. We're hoping that shooting accuracy would turn you into like a Skylar Lucic type thing, but it just didn't, and that's okay. Alex Tuck, we'll start you on the fourth line, and we'll see where things go from there, if this game could ever stop lagging. All right, so Alex Tuck, fourth line, giving it the +1, and the fit is not bad either. Has the X factor, awesome. Can we give him some penalty kill time? Oh, the penalty kill's been getting better. And actually, yeah, Pispinen was playing power play. That's true. So this might be a chance, though, for Hakana to get some ice time, now that Pispinen is gone. Hakana, yeah, 12:38. We need to give Hakana the ice time. Worst case, we can put Tuck there, but let's try and get him the ice time. All right, so there you go. Alex Tuck, welcome to Long Island. It's not going to be a lot of ice time for now, that's for sure, but we'll do our best to see what develops over injuries and whatnot. So we'll sim this game, first game, and we'll keep Augustine in after the shutout. We'll go first game of Alex Tuck as an Islander, and then the trade deadline. So there's our deadline move, ladies and gentlemen. That's what a Stanley Cup contender does, trying to go back-to-back. 1 shot, 1 goal from Quinton Byfield. That makes sense. First period, 3-0. 3 goals on 8 shots in the slow sim, but a shutout in the menu sim. Second period, 3-2. Yzerman and Horvat on the power play. We're back. Shots are 24. Thank you, Brock Besser, tying it at 3. First shot of the period. Power play Isles now. Let's go, Hakana. Killed off by the Bruins. 5 minutes into the period, outshooting them 30-23 now with 12 minutes to go. Up, actually, not, well, up in this period, I suppose, but tie game through 55 minutes. Next one might be the winner. Feeling like overtime here in a tight third period. Final minute, 16 seconds. We're off to overtime shots, 38-25 for the Isles. 3-on-3 overtime action. Do we have it in us, or will we see another shootout? Yes, we will. And in the shootout, the Islanders take it. Alex Tuck with the winner! Horvat opens it up, Thompson ties it, and Alex Tuck with the shootout winner. Oh my goodness, how about that for an Islanders debut? At home in front of the fans, correct? Yes, that was. Big win for number 48 on the year, and now we're ready to head into the trade deadline. No moves for us to make. That was our one. Yes, Alex Sakura would also be interesting, though. I'd almost go and get Sakura just as like a 13th forward from Utah, because who knows when Nazarov would be back. We do have some guys in the AHL. Yeah, like Brock Summers is there. I'm going to say keep the current. I'm going to say that's it. That's it. We traded a third. We traded a fifth. We moved out a prospect or just at least a guy in our system. I'm going to say that's the move. All right, I'm going to say that is the move. If we suffer some sort of injury, Nazarov will be back for the playoffs. And worst case, if we need a bridge until then, we have the AHL. So let's see the trade deadline here. So Pispinen, Doucet, and the third and the fifth to Utah for Alex Tuck. Boumzien going to St. Louis. John Beecher to Ottawa. Beckett Seneca going to Winnipeg, really. Gavin Brindley to Detroit as they're starting to sell off. Condre Miller to New Jersey. Slavkovsky. What? The Canadians trade Slavkovsky to the Maple Leafs for a second and Svozil. Okay. Will Cooley, Aturatu going to Edmonton. Any Noah Dobson deal here? Not looking like it. No, Noah Dobson staying in Columbus. All right, so let's keep on going here. So we got the 4-3 victory with Augustine. You know what? I'll give Augustine the Senators as well, and even the Bruins, but then Loktionov back for another stretch. Augustine, 1-0 shutout win. That's it. 2 of the last 3 wins via the shutout for Emperor Trey Augustine. We'll give him the Bruins as well. We look for our 50th win of the year. Could this be it? Win number 50 on the road at TD Garden. 4-1 win. Hard to take out Augustine at this point. You know what? Let's go for another one here against the 25-31-6 Lightning. 3-1 win. Now it's Augustine's turn to be unstoppable. Whew. But you know what? If Lokhtianov is going to win the Vezina, which would be tough, with how we split between like 3 goalies. If he's going to win the Vezina, he needs more games played. So, over the next 3 games, let's at least give one of these to Lokhtianov as we're playing the Blue Jackets twice. One of our rivals. The 30th, they have a good record. 33-22-9. I don't know why they wanted to trade Noah Dobson. On the road at Nationwide Arena for Igor. 3-0 shutout! Yes! Shutout Igor Lokhtianov, his 8th of the season! Oh, that now puts him standing alone. The second most shutouts by a rookie goaltender in a single season since the year 2000. Igor Lokhtianov, now number 2, only to Steve Mason. After a shutout, it's hard to pull, so we got to go again against the Blue Jackets. Maybe he has their number. Let's go, Igor. .930 save percentage, 2.06 goals against. The LA Kings have fired their head coach. All right. Hosting the Blue Jackets for a 4-1 victory. Man, there's been a lot of course, shutouts, but also a lot of games in which we've only allowed 1 goal. Oh me, oh my. All right, let's go back to Augustine, simply because of how good Augustine was. But Lokhtianov is just itching to get back in that starter's crease. So let's advance through this game at MSG against the Rangers. We're 53-12-2. Augustine, no! Bruised hip. All right, so Augustine, at least that makes our decision a little bit easier, but that's too bad. Augustine with a bruised hip is out till April 1st, which is not long. But that will allow Lokhtianov to continue as the starter. And now Stepan will move in as the backup. And down in the AHL, I'll swap the goalies around because the auto goalie rotate is turned off. So I want to make sure that they get some turns there as well. At MSG, it's a 4-3 loss there. A little goalie switch as Augustine got pulled, I suppose, due to injury. Here we go. How many games? We're 9-1-0 in our last 10 games. And through 68 games, we've clinched the playoffs. Of course we have. So still another 14 games to go. Here we go. So we're aiming for that 66-win pace. On the road in New Jersey, Lokhtianov with a 4-1 loss. Doesn't have Augustine supporting him on the bench anymore. On the road against Dallas at American Airlines Center, they're 36-26-5, 3-2 shootout loss. All right, Stepan will get one of these games. Which one, I'm not sure. Let's start with Lokhtianov against the Hurricanes, who are 32-29 and 8-5-3 win. And now Stepan with a chance. Here we go against the 36-29-6 St. Louis Blues contre Samuel Montembeault. 5-3 win. Back-to-back 5-3 wins. We'll take it. Big one coming up now against the 43-26-4 Pittsburgh Penguins on the road at PPG Paints Arena. Let's go for a slow sim here. Haven't done those in a while. We got to get ready for the playoffs. So here we go on the road for the slow sim against the Penguins. First period, 1-0 Pittsburgh. Sievenin scoring that one. Second period, 1-0 it remains. Shots 23-17 for the Pens through 40. Third period, let's just jump through it. And it's 2-2 after 60. Look at that. Gabe Vilardi made it 2-0. But Oliver Kapanen scores twice in the final 6 minutes to tie this game. There's that leadership. Shots 33-23 for the Pens through 60. Overtime now. Oliver Kapanen, hold on. It's Bo Horvat winning it in overtime. From down 2-0 in the final minutes of this one, Kapanen scores twice to force overtime, and the captain wins it. That is exactly what this team is built for. Those are the performances that we are capable of showing, and there's win number 56 on the year. That's game what now? 73? Are we going to hit? No, we can't hit 66, but we can definitely hit 60. Let's keep it rolling. We'll do Lokhtianov again now. Contre le Canadien Montréal. At the Bell Center here. 5-1 win. Thank you very much. Come on, a couple more shutouts here, Lokhtianov. Let's go. Against the Maple Leafs. Grudge match. Last time was a 6-3 win, seeing on the right side of the screen. Alexeyev had a goal and 2 assists last time out against Toronto. Augustine back to full health. All right, very good. Against the Maple Leafs. 4-1 win. Another 1-goal game. Igor Lokhtianov, we need him to win the Vezina. Now against the Panthers, we'll keep Augustine scratched for now. Against the Panthers, multiple Islanders. Okay, I suppose Nazarov is back? Or at least a playable injury. No, Nazarov back to full health. Well, he'll stay as a healthy scratch now. And we'll go ahead and put Augustine as the backup to Lokhtianov. And I noticed Matty Barzal has dropped to an 86 overall, by the way. Just throwing that out there. Oh, these menus. Defense, any overall changes? No, everyone looks the same. So I came against the Panthers, ended up being a 4-1 loss. All right. We'll do one more of Loktionov, and then back-to-back here, we can give one to Augustine. As we're getting close to wrapping up the season. Yzerman, sore knee, out till April 15th. Okay. So this is where Brock Besser can come up in the lineup. And even Kevin, yes. If the... Oh, so slow. Tuck can come up too. And now Nazarov will come in, and he'll even replace Cole Yzerman for a little bit of time there. Why not? Looking for a 59th win, 2-1 overtime loss. Igor against Buffalo, then Augustine against the Hurricanes. Here on the road at KeyBank Center, 7-3 win. There's the scoring we've been looking for. And now Trey Augustine for our 60th win. By the way, 59, that's a new franchise record right there, so congrats to the 7-3 victory. New franchise record, 59 wins. Now can we hit win number 60 for the first time in franchise history at home in front of the home fans at UBS Arena against the Hurricanes. Here we go. First period, 3-1 Isles. Besser, Horvat, and Kevin, 3 power play goals. Nate Chas scores for them. Second period, 4-2 goal apiece. Sandin and Petruzalek. Third period, up by 2 for our 60th win. 2-goal lead, make it 3 with a power play goal. No, killed off power play Hurricanes. Killed off as well. There are those penalty killers. I wonder how the penalty kill percentage has been doing. I haven't checked in on that in a little bit. 2-goal lead with 5 minutes to go. The fans are cheering. Power play again. Killed off. We had 3 power play goals in this one. And ladies and gentlemen, for the first time in franchise history, the New York Islanders have won 60 games in a single season. Shots end 36-30. Augustine makes 28 saves. Look at him. A goal and 2 assists from Besser. A goal and assist from Horvat. And 28 saves from the Emperor. 4-2 Isles win. That brings us to how many games now? 69 games. I want to give Augustine a couple more probably. Just so, does he need to play 25 games to be eligible for the Jennings with Loktionov? Yes, minimum 25 appearances. I want Loktionov to keep playing though. I need him to get more shutouts. I want to see his numbers keep on getting pumped up as he tries to chase the Vezina. But Augustine, I want to get him the Jennings as well. So I'm going to say Augustine gets this game against the Capitals on the road against Washington. We shut them out 3-0 last time we played, and it's a 5-0 shutout! Yes, Trey Augustine! That's why we kept him in. Another Islanders shutout win. That's what now? Game 80, that's 80. So now this is 81, then 82 has to go to Augustine as well, I suppose, if we want to get him the Jennings. All right, against the Lightning at home, 3-2 loss, and the final game of the year now will end with either 61 or 62 wins. We're 61, 16, and 4. Ending off the year against the Carolina Hurricanes. I'm sorry, Loktionov. I wanted to get you back in, but we got to play the team game here and get Augustine the Jennings to be shared with you. So Nazarov will come back out with Yzerman back in, but I wonder what did Nazarov do the last little bit. If we look at the game logs since April here, 1 goal and a +1. All right. All right, everything back to normal. There we go for the last game of the season now to close out year number 8 on the road at Lenovo Center. Let's sim it here with Augustine between the pipes. Got confused there by the message on the screen for his 25th appearance of the season. All right, here we go. First period, 2-0 Isles. Kevin and Martone. Second period, 4-3. Scary. Arcuri and then Yurchek on the power play make it 4-0. Then we allow 3 goals in 6.5 minutes. 3 on 16 shots in total. 4-3 Isles after 40. We're up by 1 here in the last game of the season. Game 82 here on April 15th, 2033. Power play Hurricanes. It's a shorthanded goal from Matty Barzal. That's why I put him there. And then David Yurchek. Yurchek has scored. It's a 5 on power play stuff for the Hurricanes. How long is this going? 2 shorthanded goals. And then Yzerman, the extra point is good. Welcome back to the lineup. Ladies and gentlemen, your 62-win New York Islanders. 66-win pace to end with 62. I am more than happy with that, as Yurchek scored shorthanded and on the power play. Just missing the even strength goal for the hat trick of possible goals. And yeah, that was a very long penalty kill. What was going on with the penalties? Double minor, and then a minor. Great. So 7-3 in the end. We shots ended 42-21. And the 3 stars in this one, Yurchek 2 goals, Martone a goal and 2 assists, and Yzerman in his return a goal and an assist. Ladies and gentlemen, hold on, Kapanen strained hamstring out until April 22nd. All right, head coach can replace for now. We'll figure that out. Yay. Okay. 7-3. Did everyone play their last game? Congrats to Alex Tuck, who scored 104 points in 143 games. That makes sense. Yes, everyone played game 82. So let's see now. Is it another President's Trophy here on the island? Yes, it is. The Devils weren't far away, though. As we end 62-16-4, the Devils went 59-19-4, and we're going to meet them in the second round, right? Watch. 3.78 goals for per game had us end third in the NHL. Look at Vancouver missing the playoffs with 3.68. Wow. Goals against have 2.29? What? If I'm looking this up correctly, the fewest amount of goals allowed in a season of at least 70 games would be the 53-54 Toronto Maple Leafs, who allowed 131 goals. For an 82-game season, it looks like it's the 2011-12 St. Louis Blues, who allowed 155 goals and 1.89 goals against per game. So us allowing 188 isn't the fewest of all time or anything like that, but we're not far off. That's probably the best I've ever seen in a franchise mode season. 2.29 goals against per game on average. Power play ended at 26%, so it came down from the 32 point whatever that it was at, ending second in the league at 26. And the penalty kill went to 86.9. Okay. We went from like 21st in the penalty kill to second, and the first of any team making the playoffs. Thank you very much. 86.9% with those little changes there. We end 29-10-2 at home and 33-6-2 on the road. Wow. Point totals now. Cole Yzerman was on pace for 98. He ends with 92. Same for Porter Martone, but Yzerman does it in 4 less games. So both Yzerman and Martone were on pace for 98. Martone played a full season with 92. Yzerman 4 games missed. 1 more goal than Martone, and Martone 1 more assist, but 92 points each, plus 40 and plus 50 respectively. Bo Horvat scores 90 points in 68 games. The 38-year-old captain scores 46 goals and 90 points. And that 46th goal of the season actually ends up being his 600th career goal. Look at you, Bo. That is awesome. And his 90 points over an 82-game season would be a 109-point pace. So his age 37 and 38 seasons have been the 2 best seasons of his career. Oh my goodness. Oliver Kapanen, 86 points in 82 games, career high from him as well, ending the season injured, but he breaks last season's total by 1 point, but still back-to-back 85-plus point seasons. How do you do, Oliver Kapanen? Brock Besser, 72 and 74 from the 36-year-old. Thank you very much. Lower goal totals for sure, after being in the 50s and the 30s and everything. It's his lowest since 2026-27 goals-wise, but still 72 points in 74 games is fine by me. Matty Barzal ends with 61 points. He slowed down a little bit in the production, I think. Yurchek really slowed down in the production. Wow, he was on pace for over 70, we had said. He ends tied with last season's totals. His total of goals went up to a career-high 14, but 56 points and a plus 47 from David Yurchek, who slowed down. That's all right. Kevin was on pace for, could it be 66? He ends with 55. So, it's understandable, especially when you consider the pace that we were on in the first half. So don't say, oh, he missed his whatever projection by 10 or 15 points. Still, we can be very happy with what they're doing. 55 from Kevin, 1 less than last year, playing similar ice time. But as we continue to tell ourselves, whenever Horvat and or Besser and or Barzal are out of that top 6, Kevin's that guy. He's been extended. He'll enjoy life. Alex Tuck, what did he do as an Islander? Let's see, 4 points, -3 in 21 games. Yeah, but we're only playing him 934 of ice time. So do we need to find him more ice time? Are we content keeping him there in, maybe the postseason 86 poise experience comes in? I don't know. Landon Dupont, 53 points and a plus 35. Ralph Pricing had a 30-point season down on the 4th line, playing 858 per night, career high, through his 4 years in the NHL. That's awesome. Well done to Ralph. Alexeyev, I would have wanted more from Alexeyev this year. Last season, he puts up 8 points in 20 games, which is a 33-point pace, playing 11-15. We give him almost 2 minutes more per night, and he scores 29. I get it, he's a two-way forward and everything, but he still has the 4.5-star puck skills. So he's kind of in the same category as Kevin, where he'll get those top 6 minutes sooner rather than later. Then we'll see what he can really do. I would hope for a little bit more. I had some Calder aspirations for Alexeyev, but those can all go to Loktionov now. Hakana, 27 points from him. Come on, Chemo! Last year he had 33, playing 10:39. Now he plays 13:09. 2.5 minutes more per night, and he scores 6 less points. Oh boy, Sandin, 23 points and a plus 35. This guy's been such a trooper here on the island. What a guy. What a guy. Love Rasmus Sandin. Nazarov, 15 points in 56 games here in his rookie year. It's a 22-point pace, playing 9.19 per night. Yeah, we're not going to go too crazy over that. Arcuri had 13 points in 46 games. Yeah, I'm very happy with him as the fourth-line center. Hornqvist, 12 points and a plus 34 on that second defensive pair. Engqvist, 10 points and a plus 23. And George Bates in his rookie season, 10 points and a plus 18. All right, now the moment we've all been waiting for, the goaltending. Ladies and gentlemen, Igor Lokhtianov ends with a record of 39, 8, and 4 with 8 shutouts, a 927 save percentage, and 2.15 goals against average. Trey Augustine, who ended up doing more of a backup role this year, goes 18 and 6 with 3 shutouts, 918 save percentage, and 2.3 goals against average. And finally, Riley Stepan, who appeared in 9 games, goes 5 and 2 with 1 shutout of his own, an 899 save percentage, and 2.64 goals against average. So combined, the Department of Defense puts up 12 shutouts, a combined, we said, what, 2.29 goals against average, and something like, I don't know, 920 save percentage. Oh, wow, wow, wow. What a year from these guys. Could it be a Vezina from Igor Lokhtianov? Well, let's look at the league numbers. Yes, league numbers here. So Lokhtianov doesn't lead the league in wins. He's tied for second in wins. All right, I would have liked to see him get 40, but we needed Augustine to get that 25th appearance. If we say minimum 50 games played, let's say. Minimum 50 games played, most shutouts, right? No, not even. Philip Gustafsson had 9. Wow. But look at the save percentage. By far Lokhtianov. Goals against average? Yes, by far Lokhtianov. I wonder, could it be a rookie Vezina for Lokhtianov? Even a Calder. Vezina and Calder, I wonder. Rookie skaters. Any big rookie skaters this year? 53 points from Walker Stewart. Okay. Then rookie goalies, of course, Lokhtianov. Even this guy Peterman. Who's this? Sebastian Peterman? All right. I wonder. All skaters in the NHL. Jesper Bratt, he had scored like, could it be 70 points in the first half on pace for 140 plus? He ends with 118. Still the Art Ross, but doesn't quite hit those projections. Austin Matthews, 71 goals to win the Rocket. Bedard right behind him with 64. They were tied with 116 points each. Rantanen, Michkov, McDavid, Draisaitl, Reinhart, Mercer, so on and so forth. Kovalenko. Okay, there's Cole Eiserman, Porter Martone. Yeah, all right. Then for the defenseman here in the NHL, it was Cale Makar with 90 points at the age of 34. Who's this guy? Robert Fast? Was that it? Yeah, Robert Fast, who was the 14th overall pick in 2025. Weren't we thinking about drafting him in 2025? Could it be? It could be. What a jump in production here to 66 points, just as an 86 overall. Then Hughes, Bouchard, Dobson, 62 points, Lane Hudson. So Yurchek just down here at 56, but imagine if he had hit those 70-point, that 70-point pace we were talking about. He would have been second and definitely had Norris votes. So there you have it. That's the league. And if we just quickly take a peek at the AHL numbers, the year isn't over there just yet, but just a little idea. We would see 51 points from Sami Miettinen. All right. Pascal Simard, 49 points, minus 25. Yikes. A negative 25 is first-line center. Paulson, Timonen. How's the goaltending been? Can we rotate them back? And then it won't show me, of course. That makes sense. And the guy we've been putting a lot of stock into for his growth is Brock Summers. He got a lot of ice time, though, at least, right? Yeah, 2029. Yeah. I don't think we'll make the playoffs here. 33, 30, and 6, unfortunately. I'll just switch the goalies back to make sure Ackerman's getting a bit more ice time. Yeah, here are the numbers for the goalies. I don't know why it doesn't show us from that other screen. But oh, because maybe it was minimum 50 games played still. I had that filter. Perhaps. All right, so there's the AHL. The NHL season has concluded, and now we can advance a few days to see who our opponent will be in round 1 of the 2032 postseason as we try to go for back-to-back Stanley Cups for the first time in this franchise mode series. Let's see it. Our round 1 opponent will be the... Don't tell me Columbus. Philadelphia Flyers. All right, the 41, 30, and 11 Philadelphia Flyers. Let's check out their lineup quickly to end off the episode. We are yet to face the Flyers in a postseason series, so here we go for the first time here in year number 8. How does this lineup look for Philadelphia? Oh, there it is. Austin Matthews and Matvei Michkov. Oh my goodness. So Bryant Sloan on their first line left wing, the 5th overall pick in 2029. Okay, playmaking 88 overall. Austin Matthews, who scored 71 goals this season, is their first-line center. Yeah, that tracks. And then their right wing next to him is a 94 overall Matvei Michkov, who scored 113 points, 81 assists. Yeah, this is definitely the team that we should be facing as the President's Trophy winners. That being said, the rest of the lineup is weaker. Luchenko at an 85, Sam O'Reilly's an 81, Comiskey's an 85 on the second line. Third line, Delorme, David, and Tutu. Okay, 82, 79, 81. Fourth line, Travis Konechny at an 80, Easton Cowan at a 79, and Bill Zonin at a 79 as well. So, the entire bottom nine, aside from 285 overalls, are all 79 to 81. Okay. Defense, Ryan Lindgren and Logan Hensler. 10th overall pick in 2025. Logan Hensler, who had 55 points this year. All right, 89 overall alongside Ryan Lindgren. Second pair, Dakota Réon-Mullen with Keegan Gillen. And third pair, Alexandre Carrier with Mate Plekanec. All right. Goaltending, it is Devin Levi with Thomas Suchanek. All right, so Devin Levi this season had a 908 save percentage and 3.05 goals against average, going 32, 25, and 7. He had 2 shutouts, and their team record was 41, 30, and 11. They're 6-3-1 moving into the postseason. And we compare the stats on the right side: goals for us in third, them in 12th. Goals against us in first, them in 9th. Power play second versus 20th. Penalty kill second versus 17th. So on paper, we're still looking good. But Matthews and Michkov together, oh boy. So, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. What a season. Igor Lokhtianov making history, tying himself with Ken Dryden for the most shutouts by a rookie goaltender. 8 shutouts, 39 wins, 53 appearances. Imagine like a 65 appearance type season. Really hope that the voodoo continues to help us. And, maybe even let me know your thoughts into the postseason. Should we even slow sim the games? Do we slow sim 1 or 2, see how it goes, then do some calendar sim, some main menu simming? I know it takes away from the storylines, but we can go back in the game logs after. I don't know. I don't want to be swept by the Flyers, and Lokhtianov now allows everything just because we've gone into the slow sim. And I would assume that Lokhtianov is our starter. Augustine was incredible this year, but I would assume that Lokhtianov is our starter, correct? Let me know your thoughts on that. And speaking of what he's done, if we look at the record books now, I'm not sure if it registers, but if we go to, rookie records, Igor Lokhtianov, most wins and most shutouts by a rookie goaltender in Islanders history, of course, tying himself with Ken Dryden for, I believe, the 7th most shutouts by a rookie in NHL history. Of course, crazy numbers that will never be matched, like 15 up there at the top. But just to say, Igor Lokhtianov putting himself in some incredible company. Season record, yes, most actually shutouts in a single season. Also an Islanders franchise record. Forget just rookies. All-time Islanders single season shutouts. Igor Lokhtianov with 8. How do you like that? Oh my goodness, wow. All right, so we'll end it off there, ladies and gentlemen. What a season moving into the postseason. I'll try to keep the space between episodes, down to 3-4 days, like I said. So get excited for a quick turnaround. The 2032 postseason coming your way. Get any and all thoughts down here in the YouTube comments or over in the Discord server, link in the description. Lines, special teams, goaltenders, the method of simulation, and just your thoughts on the season itself. I want to hear it all down below. Can we go back-to-back? Can we win 3 cups in 5 years? Can we make it to 5 Stanley Cup Finals in the last 6 years? That's what we'll find out in the next one. So subscribe, hit that bell to be notified when all the uploads and live streams come your way. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and of course, consider becoming a channel member if you haven't already. Thank you to our 17 channel members so far, helping to support the channel and getting some great perks for themselves here on the YouTube channel and over the Discord server. If you haven't already, click join down below and check out those perks and see if they would be of interest to you. Thanks again for watching. Looking forward to reading all of your thoughts and seeing you once again in the next one as we march towards the back-to-back status.